All right, it's 8:12 every morning. Every morning, everybody. Gosh.
It is 8:12 every morning.
Everybody scooch in. So it looks like our seats are full. I want to welcome everybody to the financial huddle this morning. It's a nice, crisp, beautiful day today. We got the sun out, the temperature's down, and we're going to get started. I feel like I'm missing something, though. Jeff's not here today. He's on vacation, so that's not it. Mike's not here today. He's out. That's not it. Jared, I think I'm missing some theme music. Do you have any kind of theme music for me? Great. All right. Welcome to the Financial Huddle. I'm your host, Tina Phillips from the Budget Office. So today, we're going to talk about your numbers for the month of September through August. So let's get started with Know Your Numbers. All right. Next slide is down. Yeah. There we go. We're going to talk about the 10 largest percent differences from budget through August. And just kind of a recap of the possible explanations there are. For explanations, we have the first one of heavy spending early that will be at or under budget by the end of the year. The second one could be that spending will be over budget, but made up with savings in another category in the same fund within your budget, which means you can't be over budget in 101 and expect to use Rick Artman's fund in 201 to pay for it. Don't think Rick's going to like that too well. Third category could be spending that will be over budget that commission's already approved, and we're going to use contingency to pay for it. And the fourth one is spending is anticipated to be in excess of budget that needs to be presented to commission for approval. All right, so we have the types, and I think we kind of touched on it last month for the different categories of expenditures. 51 is salary, 52 is contractual, so like your services for legal counsel, things like that. 53s are travel, training, dues, and subscriptions. Can anyone tell me what 54 could be? Very good, Angie. Maintenance. 55, does anyone know what 55 category is? Supplies, very good, Justin. 56, now a lot of you should know 56 because we hit a lot of those during budget time. Those are the big requests. Very good, capital. And then we have three other categories of types of spending that we don't use too much, but they do hit the budget lines. 57 is other, and that could be distributions, could be a purchase for a resale. 58s are grants, so you're going to have, OEM, prosecuting attorney has Title 4D, and then the last one is contingency. So there are your types of categories for spending. Let me go back. First off, we're going to start with the assessor's office. Through the month of August, we should be at 69%. And as you could tell, the assessor's office is at 71 and 72%. Looks like we have Brent and Sam Holiday here. I don't know if you guys have an explanation for your numbers.
Yeah, I'm going to defer it to Christian Carroll because I'm going to delegate.
Because Brent is an excellent delegator. So our 54 includes some of our annual subscription costs for things like Tyler, some of our GIS mapping software. So that's a little front loaded in the front of the year. So we'll gain that back with lower output between now and the end of the year. 55, that's our supplies. That's again, we've got some of our expenditures there are we're over on our real estate assessment forms, but we gained a lot back on the postage that we paid for our personal property for our business. We redesigned it so it's a smaller form, and we actually have quite a bit of savings in that category. But again, those are just front-loaded expenses for our office for the beginning of the year. We are sitting at a salary value savings for the year of just over $104,000. We've also got, line 56, quite a bit of unexecuted capital expenditures for our remodel that we're going to move forward on soon. But those are the two line items that are pushing 70%, but those will all be recaptured.
Very good explanation. Thank you very much. All right, let's hit the next office. Keep pushing the wrong button. There we go. Auditor's office, we're at 74% and 55, which is supplies.
Yes, we broke down and bought an office chair. Literally broke down.
There you go. I think that's much needed to be able to work. All right, and you've got vacancies.
Yeah. We avoided the work off.
And you've got vacancy to cover that expense, so you're,
We got.
yeah,
Tons of savings.
good deal. All right, for county commission, we're at 135% in category 55, which is supplies. And that is actually an entry that needs to be moved to a different category 54. Once that entry gets moved over, they'll be fine in that line because 54 will actually cover that expense. 58, which is grant, is higher in SKU because River Bluff Cave has been fully paid. And that 75% of it is also a community awareness, which is over the budget for April. And that's the annual funding support for community awareness. We anticipate that this category will be at or under budget by the end of the year. So we shouldn't have any worries with county commission. County-wide is 57, which is other, yes, other. And that's at 71%. And that's going to be because of sales tax. With higher sales tax, you're going to have higher distributions. So that's why that line's higher. Nothing on this one. Everyone's good there. Prosecuting attorney, we had 72% in type 53, which is travel, training, dues, and subscriptions.
We just have our fall conference. We have two major conferences, spring and fall. We just have the fall, so those get spent early. There's not much training.
So by the end of the year, you should be fine because it's just front loaded towards the beginning of the year. And by the end of the year, it should all even out.
Right. And then we balance from those other training funds I have.
Okay. And next category is the sheriff. We've got 52 for contractual, 55, which is supplies, and 57, which is other. Jeff Bassam?
Well, excuse me, my voice is not great today, so yeah, at 52, it's going to be mostly legal expense. We've got a few more cases. A lot of that's wrapping up, so that posted from the line. But then also we hired a third-party consulting firm to help us with the marshal service contract. And their fees go into legal, so that's probably this category probably over about 50,000.
Okay.
And then 55, primarily jail food and janitorial and some kitchen supplies in there also. But food's earned up about 10% over last year, so that's really the category. Jail food probably by the end of the year will be somewhere under 50,000. Then as far as 57, not a lot of dollars there. A couple of things. One of them is reciprocity out of county inmates. We don't talk much about that.
Right.
We still do have situations where we'll have inmates out of county for a day or two. We'll pick them up. Money going into that account, there's no budget. So the category. Plus there's some front loaded spending in that category. Specific in the budget. As far as savings, we'll have probably somewhere between $750,000 and $1 million wage savings this year, plus some other savings in areas like more than cover.
Good explanations. Appreciate that time you took to discuss all that. With the services at 71%, you mentioned that the U.S. Marshals, you're negotiating the contract with that. So hopefully, within the next 3 years, we'll be able to recoup some of that cost because our rates are going to go higher.
Absolutely. The cost of the third-party consultant, we will recover that quickly.
Yes. All right. And the current contract is at 80, correct? All right, 80, all right. Okay, so the grand total for GR and LEST2, we're at 1,163,000 to the good, which is good news. We're not negative. Some of the things that we're coming in above estimates is Jamestown maintenance. That's $5,000 there, and that was for bush hogging over in Jamestown. Something that wasn't budgeted, but it's something that had to be done. So we got expense to that line. And then fuel is over budget by 293. And the number that we got from Angie, which Angie keeps an excellent spreadsheet on fuel and incidents and maintenance and all that. This is one category, like everyone else across the nation, didn't anticipate fuel going as high as it did. It's come down a little bit. It's kind of going back up a little bit. But with the winter months, we're hoping that we can improve on that 293 number with gas going back down a little bit by the winter months. Let's hope, cross our fingers. But thank you, Angie, for updating that because those are actuals through August. And then a known savings that we have is the Jamestown transfer, which is not included in above, is a positive number at 560,000. So right now, GR and LEST is better than PACE at $1,425,000. And we're going to touch on sales tax. Now, last month, Jeff mentioned, okay, sales tax. We anticipate that the blue line and the green line are going to meet at some point. And he really thought that this would be the month we would see that. And sure enough, he's right. So what this means is that sales tax is, instead of it growing, we're seeing a decline in sales tax. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not under budget by any means on sales tax. We have a really good growth. We're just seeing it not grow as much as we have seen it in the past. We're starting to see a decline in the growth of sales tax. So next month, we'll see if we're going to go even further down, if it's going to change any or stay steady. But right now, we're just seeing a decline in the growth of sales tax. So the vacancy, which Mike sends out an email every month, and we touched on this last month, of vacancy for the departments. If you see a red number by your number, that means you're over. If you see a black number, that means you're good in those categories. And it looks like the sheriff is over in I'll start dancing up here if you want. It looks like the sheriff's office is over in GR1 on salary and LEST, but he is way under on GR2, by 2 million, which is a net savings of salary of 724,000. So that's really awesome. And a lot of that is because of the vacancy in 102. Because we have a lot of open positions with detention officers, I imagine.
So I have not defined that too
Well, that's true. On the budget standpoint, that's awesome. On a departmental office, yeah. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. So in GR, LEST, we have net savings of vacancy of 2.1 million. And if we break this down by departments that is run by commission, so they're commission departments, we have a total savings between GR1 and GR2 and LEST, savings of 322,255. So we're doing good there. Don't beat me up too much, Dan. So if you want to look at the grand total, our sales tax is coming in at 6.4 million, almost at 6.5. Our vacancy is at 2 million. That's a big number. That's a very big number. Federal boarding, we don't have the revenue coming in because our federal inmate count is down. Our budget's 310. We're actually at an average of 157 inmates, federal inmates. So that's a big difference to try and make up. Now, last month I reported our average was 155. We did improve by 2. That's an improvement. So we'll see how the next few months go, but we are going to be under in this category by a lot in revenue for federal boarding. The Know Your Numbers is our savings to date through August, which is $1,425,000. That gives us a grand total of $6.3 million as a balance. Now, the previous month was $5.2 million. So it's a net change of positive of $1 million compared to last month. So we're doing good. We just need to, fill some positions. As Dan would say, this is not good, this is it, but sales tax is doing really good. It's a positive month this month, so do we have any questions on any of this? No? All right. So where am I on this? I'm at 14 minutes. Did you have anything to fill up this time? I know last month we really went over because we had so much to go over and explain, from sales tax to vacancy to the types of numbers. And just being it, last month was the first month of doing the financial huddle, of not having it for so many months. So it kind of goes a little quicker once we get that first initial meeting out of the way, but anybody have any questions?